Welcome. We're at this incredible moment where we have to completely rethink what it means to be resilient when it comes to electrical power. We're going to talk about moving beyond just simple protection and stepping into a whole new world of total operational continuity. So let's dive right in.
So let me ask you a question. Think about things like AI, massive industrial automation, those sprawling data centers. What's the one thing they all have in common? It's not just that they're, changing the world. It's something way more basic and, it turns out, way more fragile.
And the answer is, they all share this critical vulnerability. They had this absolutely insatiable and frankly incredibly fragile demand for perfect, clean, uninterrupted power. We're talking about a massive appetite for electricity, these huge dynamic loads that spike and dip unpredictably, and a grid that's, well, getting a little shaky. Even the tiniest micro-outages can cause chaos. And the bottom line is, our old playbook for power protection, it just can't keep up anymore.
And that brings us to the old way of doing things. The traditional hero of our story, the uninterruptible power supply, or the UPS. For decades, this has been the go-to tool. It's been the bedrock of power protection. But what used to be its greatest strength, its focus, is now becoming a really critical limitation in this new high-stakes environment.
This right here really tells the whole story. A traditional UPS is an absolute champion at protecting the delicate stuff on the left, your servers, your data, all the sensitive controls. But look at the right side. All the heavy-duty equipment that actually makes the facility run, the HVAC, the cooling systems, the giant pumps and compressors, these are often left completely exposed. And let me tell you, when those things fail, that's when you see the catastrophic operational and financial losses.
Now, don't get me wrong, the UPS is and always will be an absolutely essential electronic shield. It is a master at cleaning up power and giving you that seamless blink-of-an-eye switchover for your IT gear. It's the only reason your servers don't just keel over during a power flicker. But its job is very specific. That protective bubble it creates is, well, kind of small.
So, okay, if the old way isn't cutting it anymore, what's the answer? Well, here's the aha moment. The solution isn't to rip and replace what we have. It's about evolving our entire strategy. It's about building a multi-layered architecture.
And here's what that looks like. It's pretty straightforward. We start with Layer 1, our trusted electronic shield, that's the UPS. It keeps doing its vital job, protecting the brains of the operation. But then, and this is the game changer, we add Layer 2, the process fortress. This is a full-on microgrid powered by a battery energy storage system, a BESS, that wraps a protective arm around the entire operational infrastructure.
This is probably the most important thing to take away from all of this. We're not talking about a choice here. It is not UPS or BSS. The future of real bulletproof resilience is an integrated system. It's UPS plus BSS. Each layer has a job to do, and they work together perfectly.
Okay, so what exactly are the superpowers that this new BESS-powered microgrid brings to the party? Let's break down what this thing can actually do. First up, you've got something called island mode. This is amazing. It's the ability to automatically, and I mean instantly, just disconnect from the main utility grid the second it detects the problem. Your entire facility just sails on, running self-sufficiently on its own perfect, stable power. It basically makes you immune to whatever chaos is happening on the outside grid.
Next is a really cool capability called grid forming. The best way to think about this is that the BES becomes the conductor for your facility's own private electrical orchestra. It stops just following the shaky rhythm of the main grid. Instead, it creates its own perfect, stable beat inside your walls, making sure all your other power sources, like solar or generators, are playing in perfect harmony. And this new approach has some serious financial perks, too. Think about it. Instead of firing up a loud, expensive, fuel-guzzling generator for every little power blip, the BESS just handles it silently and instantly. That means fewer costly startups, which saves a ton on fuel and maintenance, and it makes your generator last way longer. It basically makes your old, clunky backup system a whole lot smarter.
Oh, and the benefits aren't just for when the power goes out. With a feature like peak shaving, the battery can jump in to handle those sudden spikes in energy demand during the day. This stops you from pulling super expensive power from the utility during peak hours, and that can dramatically lower your monthly electricity bill. This is resilience that literally starts paying for itself from day one.
So when you start stacking all of these capabilities on top of each other, you pretty quickly realize we're not just talking about a better backup plan anymore. No, we are fundamentally redefining the entire concept of what electrical continuity even means.
So let's circle all the way back to what's really on the line here. Remember, the biggest, most gut-wrenching failures, they rarely happen to the servers themselves. They happen when the air conditioning dies and everything overheats, when the chillers go down, when the pumps and compressors just stop. These are the real sources of failure, and this is exactly what that new microgrid layer is built to protect.
And that's why this one quote from the research really just jumped off the page for me. It says, "This new approach redefines the perimeter of what electrical continuity means." Think about that. The protective fence is no longer just around the server rack. Now, the fence is around the entire building, the entire process, the whole shebang.
And really, that leaves us with the one key takeaway. The future of true, deep resilience isn't a single solution. It's a multi-layered architecture. You have the UPS doing its critical job, protecting the sensitive electronics, the brains. And then you have the microgrid standing guard over the entire process, the body.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. When you look at your own mission-critical infrastructure, ask yourself, is it just protected or is it truly resilient?